If your hand is stuck in a fist after your stroke, this video is for you. Hi, I'm Elise. I hold a clinical doctorate in occupational therapy, and I'm also a certified stroke rehab specialist. Today, I'm going to explain why this happens, 3 common mistakes that will keep your hand stuck in this position, and 3 evidence-based tips to help you open your hand again. Let's get into it. After a stroke, because of the damage that's occurred, the brain has trouble sending and receiving messages to and from the body. And what often ends up happening, specifically when it comes to a clenched fist, is you see the wrist and finger flexors become overactive and tight as a result of increased muscle tone and/or spasticity. You also see the muscles that help to open the wrist and the fingers, the extensors, become weaker and more difficult to activate because it's hard to fight against that flexor spasticity. And this imbalance can cause the fingers to curl in, the thumb to sometimes tuck into the palm like this, the wrist to bend, and your general hand feeling kind of stiff and stuck in this clenched fist position. So what are some mistakes that you might not knowingly be doing that keep your hand in this position? Mistake number 1 is only stretching the hand. Now, I am not saying that stretching is bad. In fact, prolonged stretching, where you're holding that stretch at end range for 30 seconds plus, can be incredibly helpful to temporarily relieve spasticity, to help relieve some tightness, stiffness, and pain associated with increased muscle tone. But stretching alone is not enough, because stretching in and of itself is just a passive activity. You are not giving your brain a chance to relearn movement and connection with those muscles. If you only stretch, your hand may loosen and feel a little bit better, but it is a temporary fix. Stretching should support your recovery, not replace active movement. It's a great thing to use as a preparatory activity before you do any active movements or exercises. Now, mistake number 2 is practicing gripping more than releasing. Gripping often feels easier after a stroke, so it usually gets practiced more. And when you have that increased spasticity in the wrist and finger flexors, your hand has a tendency to want to go into that gripped position anyway. But fighting to get your fingers and your hands open into extension is a lot more difficult. And the problem is that the muscles that help to close the hand are already more dominant, and spasticity can make that worse. And when you overtrain your grip, you can actually lead to increased tightness and stiffness. Opening the hand and practicing release of an object requires coordination, not just strength. And if you don't practice it, you don't give your brain a chance to relearn it. And mistake number 3 is waiting for your hand to relax before you use it. Many people accidentally start to practice what's called learned non-use. And this is when you learn to not use your affected side, simply because it can be more frustrating, take more time, and just generally be harder to do. But the brain learns and is able to remake connections from use. When you're not using that hand, you're not getting signals to and from the brain, and control will get worse over time. And I think it's important to say that imperfect use is better than no use at all. And if you're wondering, Elise, okay, great, but how can I use my hand if it's stuck in a clenched fist? Don't worry, stay tuned. I'm going to talk about that. Okay, so we've talked about mistakes that can keep your hand stuck in a fist. Let's go over 3 evidence-based tips to help get your hand unstuck. Of course, always check with your doctor or therapist before starting any new exercise or therapy routine to make sure that it's right for you. Tip number 1 is to activate the muscles in addition to stretching. So this is where you want to essentially try to wake up the muscles that open the hand. So after you do some prolonged stretching to help relax the muscles, go into some activation strategies to try to get those muscles woken up before you do some active movement. And this could be a couple different things. You could do mental practice. This is where you very vividly and specifically imagine your hand doing a certain activity or a certain movement or exercise, and you want to try to be as engaged in this as you possibly can, because the more it feels like it's real, the more the brain is going to respond. Try to do this for at least 10 to 15 minutes before you go into active movement practice. The second thing you can try is active visualization, and this is where you are watching somebody move through those hand opening movements you're trying to get back. The good news here is that you don't necessarily need somebody else in the room with you. For example, you can go back and watch some of my exercise videos where I'm working on opening up the hand. I have a couple different videos. You can practice that active visualization watching those videos, working along with me, or watching and then trying by yourself afterwards. And the last thing to try is active assisted range of motion. And this could simply be where you are trying to open up that hand with your unaffected hand, but what you're doing, the active part of this, is you're actively trying to get those muscles to fire. It's okay if they don't. It's okay if you only get a little twitch. This is what is going to help rebuild those pathways and connections with your brain to start getting movement back online. Tip number 2 is to intentionally practice hand release. Neuroplasticity, which is our brain's amazing ability to create and reorganize neural pathways, only happens in response to repetition, consistency, intensity, and things that are important to us. Rebuilding these pathways is what allows movement to return after a stroke even years later. And the thing is, opening the hand is a skill that you have to relearn. And you have to do that by implementing those principles: repetition, intensity, consistency, things that are important and meaningful to you. Which means you can still practice even if you don't have any movement at all with the strategies that I talked about in the last section: mental practice, active visualization, or general active assist range of motion. You can also try mirror therapy. This is where you put your unaffected hand in front of a mirror and practice those movements you're trying to get back. And it essentially helps to trick your brain into thinking that it's your affected side to help remake and rebuild those neural pathways. If you do have some movement, you want to practice that movement as much as you can. Even if you don't have full range of motion, maybe you can just get your fingers slightly open. Practice, practice, practice that as much as you possibly can. When you are working through exercises and active movement, focus on the release aspect more than the grip aspect. Like I talked about in some of the mistakes, that grip aspect is likely going to be easier for you just because of that increased spasticity. Learning how to fight that and get your hand into extension is going to require a lot more work. And the last tip is just to simply use your hand as much as you can. Because remember, your hand does not have to move perfectly in order to be useful. The initial goal, even if you can't open the hand, is just to get the brain and the muscles talking again. So when you start encouraging your hand to become involved in daily tasks that you do, you are helping to rebuild those signals, and therefore your progress is going to be faster. You can do this by helping to stabilize objects with your affected side. You can also use it to help your unaffected or stronger side to do things. And like I mentioned, you can sneak more of this practice in by doing it in your daily activities. In fact, I made a full video about how incorporating your affected side into daily activities actually helps you recover faster. So make sure to go check that out. Leave me a comment and let me know what things have been most helpful to get your hand opened again after a stroke. And if you or a loved one has ever been helped by post-stroke, please consider donating to our end of year fundraiser, which is going on all December long. Your gift helps us to keep providing free, easy to understand, evidence-based stroke recovery education to survivors around the world who've been abandoned by their healthcare systems. Thank you so much to everyone who has already donated, and for our monthly donors on Patreon who help keep post-stroke going, with a special thanks to Joseph M. and Modus Nova and our Empowerer tier on Patreon. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.